Do giants actually exist? Well, actually, yeah, they do. If you are a person over the height of 7 feet, you are considered a giant. Many cases of these giants are actually due to a disorder that is the result of an extra growth hormone. They call it gigantism. But throughout history, there has been some interesting things pop up that make some other people think that giants that we all grew up seeing in cartoons, like, you know, the ones that were like massive and the beanstalk, were actually real. Hey everyone, Dewey Stewart here, and I gotta say I'm not sold on the whole legend of giants just yet. But some of these pieces of evidence will make you question it. But please let me know what you think down in the comments after we go through today's list, because today's list we are doing the top 10 evidences of the giant race in history. So let's get to it. Starting us off in our number 10 spot are the pyramids. Let me tell you right now, folks, that this one is just a theory with no real evidence to support it. But there are many people out there that believe one of the best pieces of evidence that we have to support the giant race is the pyramids in Egypt. Many don't believe the ancient Egyptians would have been able to build those amazing gigantic structures without the help of some sort. Some have suspected the help of aliens, and others have suspected that there was help from the ancient giant race themselves. I mean, I am a huge alien guy, so any theory that goes against my aliens hurts my soul. But nevertheless, I guess I could let the giants get some love too. But also on a more serious note, many doctors spoke out against Elon Musk when he tweeted that the pyramids were built by aliens. One doctor made it quite clear that he wasn't giving the ancient Egyptians enough credit. So maybe this giant theory is the exact same. In the end, whoever built these things, whether it be the Egyptians, which it probably is, or giants, aliens, or Bob the Builder, good freaking job, because you have stumped the human race for centuries. Coming in at our number 9 spot is an ancient cave painting found in the Sego Canyon in Utah. This piece of cave artwork is dated to be from 5000 BC, so she-old. But on the right side of this piece, it is fairly safe to say that the artist drew 5 humans. On the left side, there is a large figure, and what exactly that figure is up for debate. Some believe it to be a demon rising out of the ground, some others believe it to be a terrifying creature, or maybe it is a giant. No one really knows. The humans appear to be looking up at whatever it is, but the large creature doesn't appear to have any limbs, so I'm not really sure what this painting is depicting, but whatever it is some type of gigantic being. Maybe it's a ghost of a giant. Coming in at number 8, we have Cyclops Paintings. Throughout time, we have seen numerous paintings that not only depict giants, but also Cyclops. Now, what are Cyclops? Well, these guys are actually fabled and legendary creatures that were the size of giants, but only had one eye in the center of their forehead. There's been so many paintings and pieces of artwork throughout time that depict these humongous creatures that some believe there has to be some merit to it. Some depictions have the Cyclops also having a large horn that protrude out of its head, but I don't know how much more of that I can buy. If a skeleton of a large Cyclops were to be uncovered, then you would have my attention, but for now this is just a theory based off of all of these art pieces we have uncovered throughout time. Although, speaking of skeletons, coming in at number 7 we have the West Virginia skeletons. Ever hear of Moundsville, West Virginia? Well, if you haven't, you have now. Out near this town in West Virginia, archaeologists and researchers have been unearthing massive bones and skeletons since 1774. The first one occurred when a man by the name of Jack Parsons was walking along a flooded Cheat River and found a large bone protruding out of the ground. It was then that he pulled it out and believed it to be a femur bone, which is the one in your thigh and also is the hardest bone in your body. And if you break it, it hurts. But when we measured it up to a normal human femur, this bone was 7 inches longer. Now, more bones were later found, and based off the size of what Parsons and other researchers could find, they predicted that this human being that they found would have been about 8 feet tall. Other settlers found so many more giant bones that they eventually dubbed the town Giant Town. Very creative. After that, more and more giants have been found in West Virginia, and from Moundsville to Gianttown to Wheeling, all of these are fantastic pieces, and even though they aren't Cyclops or 14-foot giant bones, they are still very impressive. Coming in at our number 6 spot is because the Greeks said so. Yeah, remember those Cyclops paintings I was telling you about? Well, most of them come from the Greeks throughout time. Giants were incredibly common throughout Greek culture, mythology, and history, but the Greeks often referred to these giant creatures as Cyclops, as I stated before. One of the most famous Cyclops being Polyphemus, who battled Odysseus in Book 9 of the Odyssey. The Greeks also believed that these giant creatures helped build some magnificent structures as well, just not over in Egypt. They believed that Cyclops were responsible for building the polygonal walls and stonework that make up most of the foundations of the Italian and Greek structures. So there's 2 parts of the world that are believed to have help from giants. Interesting. Coming in at number 5 and at our halfway point we have because Homer says so. You know Homer Simpson? No, I'm just joshing you. I'm actually talking about the famous Greek epic poet who was born back in 750 BCE. Back in 400 BCE, Homer was quoted saying, "On the earth, there once were giants." There you have it. Do you need any more proof? Yeah, Of course you do, because I do too. This is just a quote from one piece of his work, but I will say that even he is speaking in past tense. So how much further back do we have to go to find the hard proof of these beings? If they ever did truly exist, the big 15 to 30 feet ones that we all dream of, then it must have been much before anyone we know existed. Coming in at number 4, we have the Hillside footprint in South Africa. Near the town of Maphutsi, located near the border of Swaziland, is the footprint of God. This 4 feet long footprint is in the side of a hill. It is believed to be anywhere from 200 million to 3 billion years old, based on the age of the granite that it is now lying in. Now, I know what you're thinking. Why the hell would a giant stomp his foot in the side of a hill? Well, whatever or whomever left this print did leave it in the ground, but because of the age of the print, the tectonic plates were actually pushed together over time, making the footprint now on the side of the hill. There's even some small markings on the toes and heel of the print that make people believe it was in motion and scuffed the mud or ground as they were in mid-stride. It is not an overly popular tourist attraction, but people have visited it from time to time, and some even leave coins in the heel of the print. Maybe as a way to pay respects to those who came before us, or maybe it's even for good luck, who knows. But this is one piece of evidence that is actually pretty cool. Whether it is a giant print or not, an Instapic alone is worth the trip. Starting us off in our top 3, at number 3 we have Hanumans Footprints. Have you ever heard of Hanuman? Well, now you have. Hanuman was the great devotee of Lord Rama mentioned in the Ramayana. While this ancient being may be long gone, evidence of his presence here on Earth is believed to be found just about everywhere in Asia, from Thailand to Sri Lanka to Malaysia, and especially in Lapakshi, Andhra Pradesh. Although in Lapakshi, many argue if it is Hanuman's footprint or the footprint of Mother Sita, based off an Indian epic called Ramayana. While there's no real proof of any of these prints or who is held accountable, many people believe them to be absolutely real. But why are there only a few footprints all around Asia, and not just the few that I have told you about? Well, it is said that Hanuman leapt from India to Sri Lanka and to other places, leaving his solo footprints everywhere. Dang! If he can jump that far with just one leap, I don't want to imagine what track and field day was like against that guy. Coming in at our number 2 spot, we have an ancient molar. So as I have stated a few times in this video, there is no real hard evidence that there were ever giants on Earth, but there is hard evidence that there were humans that were bigger than us. That being said, humans are Homo sapiens, not Gigantopithecus blacki. The Gigantopithecus blacki were actually our ape-like ancestors that came before us sapiens. These might be just the largest humanoids to ever have actually existed. Well, proven to actually exist. Lucky for all of us, we don't just have proof, we have teeth. That's right, we have a molar of one of the large beings, and let me tell you that better not be a baby tooth, because it is huge. And finally, coming in at our number 1 spot, and if you ask me, the coolest one on this list, we have a massive giant sword. Hugh Newman, the co-author of Giants on Record, America's Hidden History, Secrets in the Mounds and the Smithsonian Files, is a firm believer in the existence of the ancient giant race. He has traveled the world studying the different ancient civilizations and evidence that leads others to believe their existence. One that is rather interesting is the subspecies of Homo sapiens that existed in Siberia around 50 to 300,000 years ago. They were called the Denisovans because they were found in the Denisova cave. They were believed to have roamed far and wide all the way to North America, so that's pretty cool. But let's get back to the sword. Newman has a picture online of him next to a 15th century giant sword found in Scotland. I just want to know, who the hell was using this thing? How could you use this thing unless you were an absolute monster? I mean, I don't know if this counts as a real piece of evidence, because maybe it was just more for decoration or a ceremonial thing, but dang. I mean, you know what? 20 bucks to whoever can properly wield that thing. I'm serious. There you have it. That's been our top 10 evidences of the giant race in history. What did you think? I'm still not sold that some of these can't be debunked or even proven just as a case of human misinterpretation. But I also won't deny that some of these are wicked cool. Example, huge ancient prints and massive Scottish swords. I mean, come on. Anyway, let me know what your fave was down in the comments, and like I said, 20 bucks to whoever can wield that thing. So start training. Anyway, I have been your host, Dewey Stewart, and until next time, thanks for watching and take care of yourself, friends. Bye-bye.